Hey, what's up, movie fans? I just got home from seeing 1517 to Paris. This is based off the real life terrorist attack from 2015 that was thwarted by three brave American heroes and one hero from England. I'm going to kind of give you my opinion on the film right after I give you a brief summary. Three young men meet in a Christian private school. Originally, it's Alex Scarlettos and Spencer Stone. They've been going to the school for a while, and they've already been best friends. Well, Anthony Sadler comes in there, and he kind of changes up the formation. They become like the three best friends. Well, after a short period, Anthony decides he doesn't like the school anymore, and he moves out. So it kind of changes their dynamic from being like the three amigos to, it's kind of been spread out, but they try and keep in touch over time. Their lives change. They're in Sacramento. One moves cross country, and it kind of goes into the high school and then college age. The film focuses mostly on Spencer Stone's character and how working at like a Jamba Juice place, it's across the street from a military recruiter. One day, a recruiter comes in and he asks him some questions, and he suggests that he wishes he had went for Air Force paramedic. So Spencer decides that is what he wants to do. So he loses about 30 pounds, gets in the best shape of his life, and goes for it. We're kind of, given glimpses throughout the film of the thwarted terrorist attack, and given a lot of of glimpses and time spent as children, their love of war and being bros. Then cut to almost the third half of the film. They go on this big retreat. Two of them are already overseas, and they get Sadler to max out a credit card and head on over, and they go on a European backpacking trip, concluding in Paris. Well, of course, we all know there was a terrorist attack, and these three young men do what they can and try and thwart it. Normally, I don't give a lot of spoilers in movies, but chances are you already know about this movie. You know about what happened 3 years ago. So, first, I want to say thank you so much to these brave men who helped stop this terrible potential terrorist attack. But man, this movie's got some big flaws in it. There's some really terrible acting in the film, not necessarily from these three guys. The children, unfortunately, are not good. They're given dialogue that is just so below Hallmark Channel quality. And I'm not a negative person like that. It's just some of the dialogue and some of just the music cues. It's just like boom, boom, boom. Check 1, 2, 3. It is just incredibly formulaic. The trailers make this feel like this movie is going to focus on this train incident, which it really could have. But it just shows things like he was inspired by a random occurrence from someone in the military who's like, yeah, I'm great at what I do now, but I would have much rather been a Air Force paramedic. So that's his life goal ambition. I mean, they touch on it by saying, you gave up football to play basketball, and then you gave up basketball because you didn't get enough game time. They don't really do a lot of favors for these real-life heroes. There's not a lot on Alex. We don't really see a tremendous amount of him. He FaceTimes him. I don't know. It's just some of the stuff just seemed kind of wonky. I really liked when they were actually touring through Amsterdam, but then it just goes to a rave, and then they do a lot of things that just aren't really heroic in this movie, and then they I don't know. I feel bad. Like I'm so conflicted because they saved potentially they saved so many lives that day, and this movie deserves better. It does not feel like Clint Eastwood did this movie. I mean, this Clint Eastwood is a phenomenal director, and I mean, you look at Flags of Our Fathers, and you look at Gran Torino. I mean, the list goes on and on of recent movies, in a sense, considering his vast, expansive filmography. Those are very recent movies, and I mean, he destroyed it, killed it. And this movie just, it feels like a Kirk Cameron quality film. Like they inundate you with religion in the beginning, and then they give you like, hey, let's get faced the whole movie, and like, oh, it's really boring to go in Germany and talk to a beautiful blonde girl, and then let's go to a rave. Like it's just stuff like that. It's just, I think they should have pushed away all of that stuff, like stuff like the principal. Like I'm proof positive Ritalin doesn't work, but like they never mentioned Ritalin by name. But like, oh, I'm a terrible teacher who's trying to help your kids who aren't doing their work. But my God is an awesome God. Like stuff like that. Like that doesn't work, and that's like the second scene of the movie. Like seriously, like it's like that, and it doesn't work at all. I would have focused an hour and a half movie on these guys. Maybe have that cut the rave scene out and have them on a tour of Europe, and then focus on that sequence. Maybe they picked the wrong terrorist attack to do a movie on. I don't know. Does that sound bad? It kind of does. You got three guys that barely were able to defeat this guy, and they're hitting him over the head with a butt of a rifle like 19 times. Maybe they shouldn't have made this movie. I don't know. I got verklempt when they were showing real life footage of these guys. I'm not anti these guys whatsoever, but this movie did not